Yo, welcome back. Alright, so today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about my dissertation at uni, really. It's based on running, so it's nice to study something that I enjoy doing in my own time as well. So I feel quite privileged in that sense, because I could have done something completely different like nutrition or just something that I feel like I wouldn't enjoy as much. The sort of area of interest is biomechanics, so the biomechanics behind running, that is. There are other things that people could study in biomechanics, like changing direction and the pressure they put on the foot when they change direction on different surfaces, the friction component or the traction component of shoes, again across different surfaces, the cushioning of shoes, whether heel type runners are more prone to injury than forefoot strike runners. There is a lot out there, and that's only me touching the little tiny bit that I know. So I'm going to touch base on what I'm going to be doing for my dissertation, or doing currently. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to put it in layman's terms, so people who don't really know much about biomechanics will understand the idea behind my proposed study. So think of it when you run down a hill, you tend to land on your heel first because you use it as a braking mechanism. Now, when we run on the flat, why is it that we still run with our heels first? It's, think about it. When you run, you land on your heels first. You heel strike, in a way, which is known as a braking mechanism when you're running down a hill. So it's weird that we still do it. And I believe, and research has shown, it's because of the confidence that we put into the cushioning of our shoes. Now, if you were to take your shoes off, go outside on a dry day and run or jog along the concrete, I put all the money that I own that you will not land on your heels first. You'll land on your toes first, and that just proves that we rely on the cushioning of our shoes to run. Naturally, most people run heel toe, and that's because of the development of shoe technology over the last 50 years or so. An efficient way of running without losing speed would to land with a mid stance or on your toes. So wheel heel strikes will be brake, accelerate, if that's a brake, accelerate. But if you land on your flat foot or mid foot and the toes of your feet, it's straight, land and take off. So you accelerate as soon as you land. So there's no impact to brake, if that makes sense. So the ideal, the projects that I'm going to be doing is to investigate whether a heel lift orthotic, so a little insert into the shoe that raises the heel off the floor, promotes a more midfoot or forefoot impact on the ground when you're running. So you think of it, people land on their heel, then push off with their toes. If you increase the heel initially, they might land on their flat foot or forefoot to push off straight away. But we don't know yet. We haven't done the actual data collection and analysed the results. So we will see. But I know that that's what I want to do, and you never know that it could, be a significant finding. It might be the next Nike sponsor that goes and helps develop their shoe technologies. We never know. What we know already is that heel lift orthotics, so the things that you put in the shoe to lift your heel up, we know, previous research has shown that in the sagittal plane, so looking side on at someone, that it has an influence on walking and running. We know that. That's something that's been discovered and studied in the past. There is limited research that shows that the heel lift orthotics, what it does in terms of foot strike pattern. So by measuring the pressure distribution on a pressure plate, we can see whereabouts on the foot that the pressure is sort of distributed. So say for instance you land on your heel first, push off with your forefoot, we can see the pressure that the body is putting down on the heel and the pressure that is being taken off by the toes. So we can see, by putting a heel lift orthotic in, so a little heel cert, see whether the distribution of pressure is influenced slightly and moved into a different part of the foot. Again, we don't know the answer to it, that's why the study's being done. So it's been hard doing the readings behind it because there's been such a limited amount of studies out there really doing something similar, but it's good to know that what we find could be a significant, and there could be a reason why there's limited research out there, because most people have just focused on the sagittal plane movement, so that side on view, and measuring the angle using video analysis, the angle of the ankle in relation to the ground, to measure whether a heel lift orthotic actually works or not. So it should be good to compare the video analysis, so the sagittal plane data, to pressure distribution, so your force or your pressure data, funny enough, compare the both together or put them together to correlate results to conclude maybe a significant finding. So it is interesting. The primary outcome measure, I'm just reading on my ethics here, I've put the location of centre of pressure, initial ground contact relative to the longitude axis of the foot. Now yeah, so the main measure of the study will be the centre of pressure on the foot along the longitudinal axis of the foot, so down the line of the foot. So if, say for instance, without the heel orthotic, so you're going to land on your heel like we said, push off with the toe, the centre of pressure will move from the heel to the toe as the body goes over the foot. Yeah, so it kind of moves with the foot. Now with the heel lift orthotic, that centre of pressure could land further in, because we're landing on a mid stance, so we could end up ground contacting with a later centre of pressure of the body, which could be a significant finding again, which is quite interesting. But we don't know, there's limited research out there, so it's good to sort of find studies out there, or readings, or whatever you want to call them, articles that go around or talk about significant findings in that sagittal plane, so down the side of the body, measurements, but there's not really much out there that links the sagittal to the pressure distribution, which is the reason for my study. In my study I'm going to be doing 3 conditions, so there'll be a baseline, like a control group, so the participants will do a run over the pressure plate just with their normal shoes, so there'll be a heel strike, forefoot strike with no heel lift. Then what I'll do is give them it will be counterbalanced, so they won't know what heel lift they'll have in. Obviously they'll know when they don't have one in, but they won't know which one they'll have in what order, if that makes sense. So I'd give them a 7.5mm heel lift, so a slight one, and then a 15mm heel lift, so it'll be an even higher one, just to see if there's a correlation between the higher heel lift. Is there a later occurrence of that centre of pressure, or is there a higher ground contact force, or we don't know. So it's another good thing that having a baseline we can compare to a normal sort of trial to the heel lift orthotics that are the conditions. Because my study is a repeated measures, I will only need between 8 and 10 people, because there's going to be so much data collected, it's hard, and it'll be a waste of time for the participants as well, that you don't need that many. Each participant will run 10 successful trials, so we'll have 10 successful bits of pressure data per participant, and we'll have 10 successful max tracks of the video data per participant. So that's 20 bits of data, maybe more, per participant. Times that by 8. You see what I mean? There's a lot of data to analyse, so it should make the study powerful enough to get or to conclude a significant or non-significant. shouldn't need any more than that, really. Like, I'd be wasting participants' time, and I'd be wasting my own time as well, because there's no need for it. You know, if I was doing an observational study, or I don't know, something that requires a lot of people to really get that power in the study and to find a real, true, significant difference, maybe get more people. But for mine, because it's repeated measures, it's not really necessary, due to the fact that the amount of data and the amount of things that I am collecting, there's no need for it, really. Talking about the time of participants, or not wasting the time, sorry, I'll only need, each participant will probably spend about an hour in the lab with me. So it's not like a before and after trial. So I think it's retrospective studies where you do like a measurement, then they go off and do like a condition or follow these set of rules, and then they come back in 6 weeks time, and then you measure them again, then you compare the difference between before and after whatever they've done. It's not like they come in, bang out the data or the data collection, and that's them off. Each participant will get a sort of explanation of the results when the data is collected, so that they will get their own sort of, well, they've participated in a piece of research, so they will get their results because it's their data, if that makes sense. They were the ones who've done the trials, so it'll be interesting. The people that are taking part will be interested in the results, because who wouldn't be? You know, everyone wants to know the results of something that they've done. That's pretty much where I'm at with what I'm doing and what my dissertation's about, and what the participants or the people involved are going to be. Can't wait to get the data collection sorted. My ethics have been sent off, waiting for them to come back. I've got my training coming up for the lab, so I know how to use the equipment on my own. Can't wait to get it started. It's something that I've really thought about, and I actually am excited to do my own bit of research to go out there. It's only 5,000 words, so not a lot, but does mean that it has to be concise, which may make it harder. But I think I'm okay with that. I feel like I'm relatively good at making things concise. I do blabber on a lot, probably what you can tell from these videos, but it's when you talk differently to how you write, and that's always the case. I feel like when I'm typing an essay or sending an email, I turn into some sort of informal professor. You know, that's how it is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. It's a different video. You could say it's boring, but I thought I'd let you guys know, or whoever's watching, what I'm studying for my dissertation. There might be people out there that relate to it, or think, oh, that's something I could do in the future, or oh, is that the type of thing you do at uni? I could do the same. So leave a like, subscribe. It's free, so why not? Yeah, if you've got any suggestions or any questions of anything else, that you have a brother or a sibling or yourself does a dissertation and you want to find out some information to help you, just leave a comment. I'm always open to have a convo with anyone, really. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in a running video. If you made it to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend, because I probably wouldn't have.